Hello, everyone. This is Merlin Gonzalez with Faith, Hope, and Love. And I'd like to update you what's going to happen tomorrow. You probably heard it already, but just a reminder tomorrow is the 55th Table Talk. This is a ministry of faith, hope, and love that started back in September of 2015. So we are 4.5 years going now, and it's monthly. And I'm very, very happy that we have our tribe or maybe followers or people who really are benefiting from the table talk. So tomorrow we have four people who's going to be joining us at the table talk. Normally it's only one, but this time since we're online, might as well do like a table talk, faith, hope, and love TED Talk, maybe. So it will be just shorter. So we will have the city of Indianapolis, Milella Kennedy, going to give us updates as far as the COVID-19 and also the food pantries in Indianapolis, Marion County. And then we will have Savvy Unay Andres, who is part of the Police Center, and they are recognized in the nation as far as research university research is concerned. Then we do have Athletes in Action, and that is Darren Gray. He worked with Coach Tony Dungy in the past and worked with a lot of NFL players, and is going to give us encouragement and also updates as far as athletes and also the arts and entertainment is concerned regarding the COVID-19. And then lastly, we have CJ McClanahan. And CJ is a new good friend of mine, and I haven't really met him before, but we've been working together online and also talking with each other. And CJ is going to give us a the mission of Project Two Rule, which means that the Project Two Rule, there are two things to that they uphold, and you will find that out more tomorrow. But on Sunday, I gave like a quick devotion as far as the story. And let me show you a screen here about the story. Hopefully you see this. Let me just make sure that we are showing you the right thing here. Um, so the story, hopefully you see this. Let me make sure you got it. Yeah, that's right. So the story is the Bible as one continuing story of God and His people. Let me show you. So that's the story, and this is in King James. They use King James to tell the story, and then they have some commentaries as a bridge from one story to another. But for me, for my own understanding, I understand better with regular English language. So this one we're going to use New King James to read the story based on the chronological sequence that the story, the book story, is going to show us. So let me just show you real quick. Here you can see if you really want to know about chronological order. This is not like the chronological Bible. It's different. Chronological Bible actually post or write everything in the Bible. So there are stories that are like repeated because, as you know, there are just like chronicles or maybe the gospel. There are the same stories but said in different ways. So this one, though, the story is there's only like it's continuous story. There's no repetition. So you can see it here. The battle begins in number 7, and then number 17, the kingdom fall, things, and then now we are working on the Holy Week. And again, last Sunday we started this, the Palm Sunday, what actually happened during the Palm Sunday based on the Bible. So this time we're going to do this. Jesus, the Son of God, or closer to the end of that. So let me just go back again to our screen here. Um, so this time I'm going to read chronologically. Um, so we will pick it back up. The last time we did this, let me show you what we did the last time. Um, we started with Mark 1:49, which was when Jesus did his triumphant entry to Jerusalem. And then after that, he went to the temple. He cast out those who were selling and making the front of the temple a marketplace. And then after that, he healed people. And it says here, the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. And then the end of that segment was Jesus went to the city of Bethany where he lodged. So now we're going to pick up the story from there, starting with Mark 12:35 to 37. So let's go Mark 12:35 to 37. And here's Mark 12:35 to 37. Then Jesus answered, and again, just in the context of it, this was after he went to Bethany, after he was in the temple, he healed many people, and he turned over those money changers. So this is the continuation of the story based on the book, the story, but all came from the Bible verses. Then Jesus answered and said, while he taught in the temple, how is it that the scribes say that the Christ is the son of David? For David himself said by the Holy Spirit, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand till I make your enemies of your footstool. And then verse 37, therefore David himself called him Lord. And how is he then his son? And the common people heard him gladly. So again, in the context of it, Jesus, during that Holy Week, he continued to go to the temple, and then he taught at the temple. So this is one of his teaching. And then the next one after that is John 12:27 to 33. So Jesus teaching at the temple during the Holy Week, and then John 12:27 to 33. So let's look in here, 27. And now my soul is troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But to this purpose I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven saying, I have glorified it and will glorify it again. Therefore, the people who stood by and heard it said that it had thundered. Others said, an angel has spoken to him. Jesus answered and said, this voice did not come because of me, but for your sake. Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. And if I am lifted up, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all peoples to myself. Then he said, signifying, but by what death he would die. So again, now Jesus is starting to teach people that, hey, the hour has come. And again, this is during the Holy Week. The people answered, we have heard from the law that the Christ remains forever. Very good question. And how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted us? And who is this Son of Man? Then Jesus said to them in verse 35, a little while longer the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. He who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light that you may become sons of light. These things Jesus spoke and departed and was hidden from them. But although he had done so many signs before them, they did not believe him. So, in a context, we can just take a look at this in our present day. How many times did God show up in your life? For me, myself, I cannot count them. It's not like those big miracles that's happening in our lives, in my life, but the little things. And maybe sometimes it's just the intuition, and you feel like, hey, I think God is speaking to me regarding this decision. And then Jesus again reminded the disciples regarding this, that although he had done so many signs before them, they did not believe him. And then we're going to move to verse 42 until verse 50. Nevertheless, even among the rulers, many believed in him. Okay, so many did not believe, but many also believed in him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess. So again, they were afraid of what's going to happen if the Pharisees know that the people are believing in Jesus. So again, but because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue, for they love the praises of men more than the praise of God. Then Jesus cried out and said, he who believes in me believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And this is he's talking about the Father now. And he who sees me, sees him who sent me. I have come as a light into the world, that whoever believes in me should not abide in darkness. And if anyone hears my words and does not believe, I do not judge them, for I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken on my own authority, but the Father who sent me gave me a command, that I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his command is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, just as the Father has told me, so I speak. So now Jesus, again, during the Holy Week, he preached a lot or speak a lot in the temple. He healed people, and then these were his words um, in the temple in one of the occasions. So I don't know if it's like Holy Tuesday or Holy Wednesday. um, and then let's pick up this story again. Jesus was revealing who the Father is. And then let's go back to Mark 14 for the continuing of the story. So in Mark 14, 1, 2, after 2 days, it was the Passover and the feast of the unleavened bread. And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by trickery and put him to death. So now the story starting to ramp up now. The Pharisees are starting to get jealous, even more jealous with Jesus. And then again, this story now is after 2 days. It was the Passover and the feast of the unleavened bread. So the Passover is Thursday. So that's this coming Thursday for us. And the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by trickery and put him to death. But they said, not during the feast, lest there be an uproar of the people. And then we will jump to Luke 22, 3 through 6. 3 to 6. Luke 22, 3 to 6. And this is where we're going to end the segment of the story. Then Satan entered Judas, surname Iscariot, who was numbered among the 12. So he went his way and conferred with the chief priests and captains how he might betray him to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him money. So he promised and sought opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of the multitude. So that is we're going to end in that segment of the story right now. But on the commentaries, I just like to share with you. So on this segment of the story, the crowds liked Jesus, but the hatred of the religious leaders grew more intense, as we heard from the verses. So, human was Jesus, that as his situation worsened, his heart was troubled. But Jesus faced his fear and refused to let it stop him from doing the will of God. Is there anything in our lives right now that may be stopping us to do the will of God? And again, what Jesus said earlier is that it's not his will, but the Father's will. That what the Father say, he say, and what he see the Father does, he also do. Um, and then another commentary here is that behind the scenes, under the radar of politics or religious courts, a dark power was brewing and waiting. That evil power found an opening among Jesus' intimate circle of followers. Just a touch of greed was all that power needed to accelerate the plot. So, again, I'm reading here the story, and they have, again, as you can see, I put some notes here where I can read it from, New King James instead of the King James, so we can understand it better, at least for me. And then here, there are some commentaries here. So again, in this commentary, evil power found an opening among Jesus' intimate circle of followers. So have you had any experience in the past that you had an intimate relationship with people, not no, not sexual, but actually your friends, and you consider that they are your brothers or your sister, or maybe really more than like a brother or a sister, and because evil came to that individual, and also the lure of money, the lure of treasures here on earth, um, and the greed. That's what it says here. Just a touch of greed was all that power needed to accelerate that plot. So we have to take a look at our own selves, because that a touch of greed sometimes can really make things worse, and succumb us to do really bad things. And that's what happened to Judas. Just a touch of greed was all that power needed to accelerate the plot. And what's that power? That's the evil power that is in the air. That's the evil power, maybe even in our own mind. Because sometimes we can say, hey, I was tempted, and this and that, but sometimes it starts in our mind. Satan may not be there, but our mind's still full of stuff. So it's, who else to blame but ourselves. So that's what happened, and then we will pick back up again. The next part would be the hour of darkness, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Maybe tomorrow is the hour of darkness. And again, if you're just joining us, I'm going through a brief devotion regarding the account of Jesus' chronological story during the Holy Week, based on the Bible verses that was found, summarized here in the story. I'd like to share with you also. Let me show you this. Hopefully, this will show you. This is our YouTube. All right. So tomorrow, if you don't have a Facebook account, you can go to YouTube, not user, but youtube.com/FHL International org. Again, /FHL International org. And you will see the videos that we have here. Now you can see here, we had interview yesterday with Larry Smith, and then also yesterday with Unai Andres, and then the other day with Milele Kennedy. And then I have my sermon here too about compassionate service, some testimonials here, and also our trailer about hunger beyond food, and then the full trailer, a short documentary about hunger beyond food. And again, there are many stories here. As you can see, dozens of stories, even from a year ago, or several years ago, as you can see here. This one was 3 years ago. This was when we partnered with Mr. Quick when they did a food drive for us. This one was 4 years ago during Faith, Hope, and Love Week, which is coming up every last week of July. This one was 5 years ago, and this was very, very important, not just because of the reading of the proclamation, but this was when I actually shared my vision for missional food pantry. And then the former conversation with the former deputy mayor, Oljan Williams. This one you can see 6 years ago. This was at the food pantry that we started at Boys and Girls Club at Troy Avenue. Um, so you see this. This is the food pantry incubation, solutions to hunger, and yeah, many different videos that you can see here. This one was 7 years ago. I mean, look at that. This one was 8 years ago when we were praying for people at the street. But yeah, I'm you can just follow that, and you can pick and choose what you would like to watch. But again, tomorrow, if you don't have a Facebook account, at 11 o'clock, you can just go to youtube.com/, FHL International org. Okay, FHL International org. So let me just go back again to my screen here. So yeah, tomorrow will be Table Talk number 55, and we have several guests, as I mentioned at the first part of this coverage. Um, I am looking forward to serving you and to serving with you. And just if you need some encouragement during this time of year, during this pandemic, please call us at 463-210-4612, or you can email me at info@fhlinternational.org. So again, thank you so much for watching, and keep the faith and be strong, keep healthy and keep safe, and may the Lord bless you. God bless you. Until tomorrow, see you then.